Thank you so much for joining us today. Today we're talking about tackling the tariff challenge, big topic these days. And we're focusing on Acumatica and the ecosystem partners that we see here on the screen, TrueCommerce, StarShip, Avalara, and Nuvei. Each has a critical piece of the puzzle here to address the tariff challenge. A couple of just housekeeping notes for those of you who just came in. If you note on your webinar pane, there's a hand button and a question mark button. Should you have any questions throughout the presentation, we ask that you go ahead and click on that question mark button. Dialog box will open up where you can go ahead and key in your question, and we will be announcing those questions at the end of the webinar. Thanks again, everybody, for joining us. We really appreciate you being here with us. Just a little bit about the companies before we get started. Everybody's probably heard about Avalara. They make sales tax compliance faster, easier, more accurate, and more reliable. But this also applies to the tariffs for 41,000 plus businesses and government customers in over 75 countries. Tax compliance automation software solutions from Avalara leverage 1,200 plus signed partner integrations across leading e-commerce, ERP, and other billing systems to power tax calculations, document management, tax return filing, and tax content access. So you can visit avalara.com to improve your compliance journey. And then a little bit about V Technologies, the makers of StarShip. They were founded in 1987. They provide multi-carrier shipping software that connects your warehouse to the front office. Today we're going to be talking about how it connects Acumatica warehouse to the front office. They allow you to automate rate shopping with dozens of parcel and LTL carriers from one platform. So the parcel carriers are FedEx, UPS, USPS, DHL, Speedy. LTL carriers are AAA Cooper, Saia, Old Dominion, RNL, XPO, and more. They provide these strong integrations, very mature products that integrates with not only Acumatica, what we're discussing today, but has a very long history with Sage 100, Sage 300, Dynamics GP, those market-leading legacy products, since the 90s. So there's lots of functionality that has evolved over the years. Dynamics 365 BC, QuickBooks, SAP Business One, and Epicor. They also have integrations with Amazon, eBay, Magento, and WooCommerce. A little bit about TrueCommerce. You can automate and accelerate your supply chain with TrueCommerce's Acumatica integration. So you can see here, it's not only EDI integration for Acumatica, but also e-commerce integrations, marketplace integrations. They integrate Acumatica to all your trading partners, 3PL integration for Acumatica, and they also have other more integrations with other functionality when it comes to Acumatica that creates more value and add-ons to schedule EDI tasks, manage packing list templates, and more. And Tiffany will get more into that later on in the presentation. And a little bit about Nuvei. In 2023, you might recognize Paya, but Paya's coming more and more under the Nuvei brand. They were acquired by Nuvei in 2023. And you'll see Nuvei much more as they move into the Nuvei branding. They want to remind you of their exceptional payment and AR solution that seamlessly integrates into Acumatica. As the leader in ERP payment integrations, they're committed to elevating payments and accounting workflows in Acumatica and delivering increased value to clients. They allow you to harness their full stack of capabilities to support customers and partners, and Kimberly's going to get more into that into the presentation. And we're going to start off with our first question here. What are common cross-border challenges we see customers facing? And Avalara has such a plethora of functionality across this question. So we're going to go ahead and let Connor get started. Connor, how about you start with Avalara?
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you all having me today. Just quick intro on myself before we hop into it. I am Avalara's senior sales executive specific to the Acumatica ecosystem. So I've worked in this field and in this role for about 5 years, only working with Acumatica folks in those 5-year times. So appreciate y'all giving me the opportunity to talk about Avalara's services, but also just tariffs and international compliance in general. So to answer the question at hand, so there's really 3 big buckets that we see that are major problems that folks deal with when they're dealing with cross-border compliance and issues there. First one is abandoned carts. So we find that if customers don't see what the full landed cost is, they might get cold feet and they might leave mid-checkout, right? Because you don't know necessarily what that cost is going to be, and you don't want to be on the hook for any potential additional taxes if you're not certain what those taxes might be. The second problem that we see is products stuck in customs. So if you're using a United States or US specific HS code, which is a harmonized code for any type of international shipment, it might not be valid at the destination that it's intended to go to. So that can really create a lot of problems, delays, confusions, and the thing we're all trying to avoid, frustrated customers. And we're going to talk more about harmonized codes or HS codes a little bit later in today's session. And the last thing, going in line with frustrated customers, we want to make sure that we're avoiding that bad buyer experience, whether it's surprise duties or taxes that show up at the time of delivery. Situations like that lead to customers not having high retention for businesses that are utilizing Acumatica for international compliance. And we see even worse than just kind of frustrated customers that don't come back. It's even worse when they reject the shipment altogether. So we at Avalara, we help eliminate these issues. We make HS codes, harmonized codes, accurate and localized from the start, so you can ship around anywhere in the world with confidence. And we're going to dive a little bit deeper into that in today's conversation. But I'm going to kick it over to Tiffany from TrueCommerce. So from your side, Tiffany, what do y'all see as common cross-border challenges for your customers specifically?
Yeah, thanks, Connor. I guess I'll introduce myself as well. I am Tiffany Campbell. I manage the channel here for TrueCommerce. I manage the Acumatica channel. What we see right now is communication and compliance are challenges that we see. So with EDI or TrueCommerce specifically, we can streamline communication by automating document exchanges, ensuring compliance with international standards, and reducing manual errors. We also see real-time data across border as another challenge or another concern. And with that, TrueCommerce facilitates real-time data sharing, helping businesses stay agile and responsive to cross-border demands. It also enhances collaboration with global partners by providing a standardized format that transcends language differences. So I would say those are our top 2. StarShip, Caroline, what unique challenges do you guys see?
Well, being on the shipping side, I feel like Connor kind of touched on some of the issues that we're seeing with the Schedule B codes and the right codes and where we're grabbing those from. So definitely having an Avalara solution in there, making sure that the Schedule B codes are correct when we go out to ship the product and create the documentation. If we're leveraging, a combination of that data and our documents that we're actually either creating or uploading to the carriers to do like an electronic trade document, that's usually where we find customers have difficulty like trying to get those either international documents out with the right information and then get those up to the carriers so that when their packages do get to their destination, they are able to get through the border function and then in the end that their customers are actually receiving their packages, with the whole duties and taxes. That's an issue as well. I think Connor kind of touched on that with the Avalara solution. So a lot of similarities that we see on the shipping side that you guys had mentioned earlier.
Thank you guys for that. All right, so how can automation help? And let's cover how automation from our Acumatica ecosystem partners work together to help you. Each of these touch the tariff issue as it applies in Acumatica. And so we're going to go ahead and let Connor speak first. Let's have you start by highlighting your key features, Connor.
Yeah, so we certainly have a lot of different products in this international compliance space. I'm going to name 3 specific ones, but certainly if you are interested in learning more about our international compliance, please feel free to reach out to me afterwards. But the first one I want to bring up is Avalara Cross-Border. So this specific tool allows you as a customer to estimate what are going to be those specific duties and taxes for your customers at checkout. So really negating a lot of those negative outcomes that can come about from not being compliant with international compliance, like we talked about in the previous slide and Caroline echoed as well. We also have our tariff code classification service, and this tool really uses, like a lot of different tools nowadays, it uses AI, and this AI is able to review and assign HS codes based off specifics of your business, but also based off the specifics of your shipment. And then we also have trade restrictions management. That's really our way of keeping you ahead of government restrictions that could block your shipments. And the nice part about all of these products is that we integrate very seamlessly with major platforms. Of course, we're talking Acumatica, that's the ecosystem I work within, but we also work on e-commerce platforms like Shopify, BigCommerce, and we can also plug in if you have any API or proprietary platforms in addition to Acumatica, we can plug into your existing setup. I'm going to kick it over to StarShip. What's y'all's take on your automation tools?
Well, I love your automation tools actually, because I think that they're actually able to help our customers before the data actually gets to the shipping side of things. Because if we're all kind of integrated to Acumatica, for example, like you're updating Acumatica, we're pulling from Acumatica, so we can actually leverage some of the data that you've already kind of cleaned up or updated for the customer before it even gets to us. So that's number one. But once we get the data into StarShip from the Acumatica document, whether that be the shipment or the sales order, we always try to kind of marry the items that are on the order to the information that needs to eventually make it to on the international documents. The schedule, all the Schedule Bs, those have to go on there obviously for the commercial invoice, the shipper's letter of instruction, all that good stuff. And then, being able to even deal with Canada and Mexico, there are different, trading functionalities there with the USMCA, and making sure that, at the end of the day that the customers are able to basically get their documents printed, uploaded, and out the door faster. So I think it's really good to hear all the Avalara cross-border and international solutions, because that actually, I'm sure our customers are actually, we have a lot of probably mutual customers already that are using yours in conjunction with our shipping to get this stuff out the door, right? So that's usually what we see is mainly the documentation. Tiffany, what are you seeing on the EDI side?
Okay, so, I agree with you 100%. I think using all of our solutions help, or using your 2 solutions definitely help with ours. So TrueCommerce automates the exchange of key trade documents like invoices, shipping notices, and custom declarations, reducing the errors that can lead to tariff misclassifications or non-compliance. TrueCommerce also enables real-time landed cost calculations to help businesses monitor tariff impacts as they occur, which is critical for adjusting sourcing and pricing strategies. Other benefits is the reduction in manual entry errors. So that helps with, fewer reclassifications and delays at customs. like Avalara, consistent HS codes and country of origin data ensure accurate tariff calculations for us. And then automatically calculated landed cost assistant identifying profit erosion and managing cost changes, whether by passing them on or absorbing them. So I think all the products we're going to look at are going to help each of us. I'm not sure if anyone has anything else to say, or if I pass this back over to Adrian.
I can jump in real quick on a point from Nuvei. Yeah, and definitely agree. Like lots of similarities across how the products are helping automate, and by reducing manual errors and making businesses more efficient. And Nuvei's Commerce Suite definitely does very similar answers to those pain points. Streamlining payments inside the ERP with automated invoice which accelerates cash flow. It's minimizing manual entry and data mismatches to reduce errors. And payments are built directly into the ERP, so there's no extra systems or double entry, which is also saving staff time from repetitive billing tasks. And you're going to gain better visibility with all your customer and transaction data. It's going to be in one place, faster reporting and decision making. And our surcharging fee recovery solution recovers processing costs and ensures that every fee is applied transparently. So you're controlling costs by passing eligible processing fees to customers and helping to protect your margins.
So how do we streamline documentation and reporting for international shipments? And Caroline, this one is for you. Let's start with you on this one because you're all about shipping.
Well, hopefully you can hear me. I think we've already talked about this quite a bit, actually, with the bringing over harmonized codes that are combined with the items from the Acumatica shipments. And those might be actually updated from the Avalara solution, maybe EDI. But regardless, when we are connected into Acumatica, we can pull all that information in and create the documents, international documents, upload to the carriers, and create the shipping documents. So that's really, we're all about the outbound shipment, getting the boxes out the door, out to customs, through customs, and into the recipient hands. So having all those other pieces in play, I think are really also great. The landed costs and making sure that all the fees are already taken care of so that the recipient will actually pick up the package is also important.
And Connor, did you have anything to add here? I know that TrueCommerce has a lot of functionality when it comes to this, but would you help optimize landed costs for international sales?
Yep. And so we'll talk about landed costs here on the kind of documentation side of things. So our main kind of flagship product that we have in that space is our e-invoicing and live reporting tool, otherwise known as ELR. But Avalara is alphabet soup. So e-invoicing and live reporting, that's going to provide global compliance and really make sure that you're getting all type of coverage for international compliance under one single application, under one umbrella, essentially. So we are fully integrated into Acumatica for our ELR. So you're working right within your instance of Acumatica while it's connecting into our ELR platform on the back end. But the nice thing is, whether it's working within a mandate or connecting to trading partners, a lot who are on today's call, we are able to make sure that you've got all the compliance covered through our ELR solution. And the big thing is, because it's so fast, it's scalable, it prevents any long lead times to get up and running. So you're able to utilize this tool very quickly after deciding if you do or don't want to move forward with it. And it gives you more predictable costs. It makes you more compliant with indirect tax. And like I mentioned, fully integrated into Acumatica. So you're working right within your instance of Acumatica and not having to switch screens.
Is it then generating the commercial invoice, Connor, for these customers? Okay, got it. Awesome.
And Tiffany, can you speak to this as well?
Yeah, so by leveraging TrueCommerce's business can automate the transmission of essential documentation such as bill of lading, commercial invoices, and packing list. This automation not only speeds up the process, but also minimizes the risk of errors associated with data entry. TrueCommerce facilitates seamless integration with custom authorities and logistic providers, ensuring that all necessary information is transmitted accurately and promptly. This results in fewer delays at the borders and smoother clearance processes. Additionally, EDI or TrueCommerce allows for comprehensive tracking and reporting by creating a digital trail of all transactions, which is invaluable for auditing and compliance purposes. So that's how we can help you. Anyone else have anything to add?
How do we, let's just move on to the next question here. How do we optimize landed costs for international sales? And then Avalara, this is key for you, I believe. So I'll go ahead and let you start.
Yeah, so we had talked a little bit about this earlier, but this is where HS or harmonized codes comes into play. In this role, working specifically in the Acumatica ecosystem, I do talk to a lot of folks that have the common misconception that HS codes are universal. Unfortunately, that's just not the case. Now, the first 6 digits of every H code are universal, right? So every code starts with 6405.90, right? So you've got that covered. But then it differs when you get into the remaining codes. So you add more digits to suit their own classification systems for each country. So for example, in Australia, it ends in 0.001. The US most of the time uses 0.9067. Japan uses 0.119. So these differences in HS codes are very critical in ensuring that you're able to get your goods and services across the border without delay, without any issues or uncompliance. But there's also differences in landed costs when it comes to duty tariffs. They are constantly changing. So, I've got a few data points here, but they are subject to change. Australia, as of last check, was 5%, 12.5% in the US, and in Japan, tariff is 30%. Now, those rates and tariffs are for the same exact good. So we've talked about some of the products, but really these variations, that's where the headache comes in for customers like yourself. Because if you're not classifying correctly the country that you're shipping to, it's going to lead to issues at the border and some of those common headaches that we talked about a few slides back.
And Tiffany, how about TrueCommerce?
Yep. So with TrueCommerce, your businesses gain the ability to automatically calculate landed cost with precision, taking into account various factors such as tariffs, shipping fees, insurance, and handling charges. This automation ensures that all pertinent cost components are considered, providing a clear and accurate picture of total expenses associated with each international sale. And as mentioned before, TrueCommerce allows companies to seamlessly integrate real-time data from suppliers, customs, and logistic partners, enabling them to track cost changes as they happen. So this transparency allows businesses to adjust their pricing strategies dynamically, maintaining competitiveness in the global market. Additionally, the standardized format of EDI transactions ensures that cost information is consistently interpreted across different regions, reducing the risk of miscommunication or any errors. Caroline, does StarShip have anything to add?
I think as it relates to this, I've seen customers use our rules engine to kind of maybe cover for some of these additional fees if they're not coming over or they're not, you know, being allocated somewhere. So they may say, I want to do, you know, an upcharge or something to the freight, so that the freight charges that go back into Acumatica in this instance will be, you know, have some upcharge to them. But outside of that, that's, I think that's kind of where we've seen something related to the landed costs.
How do we help maintain compliance with changing regulations? And again, Avalara, let's start with you. You have so much functionality around this tariff issue. So we'll go ahead and start with Avalara.
Yeah, so this, again, this is where we shine in a lot of the information in regards to our products we've covered in today's session. So I'll just highlight one or two more things just to make sure I'm not being overly redundant with Avalara's products. But at the end of the day, I mean, this is where we shine, right? By connecting all the pieces of that really global, we'll call it tax puzzle, to your business specifically via Acumatica. And you know, when it comes to our tax engine in general, we're not just doing US based sales tax. We're helping with everything. We can help out with custom duties. We can help out with VAT. We can help out with HS code classification. If you're new to the international space and you're beginning that VAT registration, we can help you out through a program called IOSS, which is essentially like a standardized registration platform that can get you registered in, I believe it's 33 countries internationally. So really the nice part about working with Avalara when it comes to this topic in general is you don't have to worry about working with multiple different tools. And at the same time, you don't have to worry about there being gaps in your compliance processes. Because at the end of the day, Avalara's goal, it's to give you one really just unified solution to help you as you're selling and you're increasing your revenue channels in that global space.
I love that. Do you guys have like resources online to help with, you know, some of our customers with like navigating some of these things, Connor?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a good question, Caroline. So when it comes to resources, we of course have all of our public facing websites. That's going to have a lot of the content that I talked about today. But because compliance is so nuanced, I always recommend just having a conversation with either myself or one of my colleagues who are internationally based. So we've got a team of sales executives in our Brighton office, so about, I think it's about an hour east of London. So they can help out with, in addition to myself, they can help out with any type of international compliance, because the thing that I've seen in my 5 years here at Avalara is that while we have all of our products and marketing online, compliance is so nuanced, right? So I always recommend talking to someone to make sure that what services you're signing up for are aligned to what your needs are, to make sure that it's that really that tailored match.
Yeah, and so do customers need to have like your one of the international services to get like connection to ask these questions, to get help with their international like processes? And what do they get aligned with someone? I just wonder how that works, because I know my
it's a good question. So we definitely, we're not one to give away the product for free, so we can't necessarily do advisement per se, but we are able to help you once you understand where you're trying to work within, so what countries you're trying to work within. We can then scope out the project to say, hey, based off of what you've told me with these 5 requirements, these 2 requirements, this 1 requirement, these are the products that we recommend that you move forward with. Then we do a technical demo just to make sure that everything's aligned on the technical side. And then from there, once the products are up and live, we fully support them. So the real advisement, that's more on like the CPA side. We don't do advisement per se, but we do full automation when it comes to compliance. And while it's not, we'll say, audit-backed compliance advisement, you know, a lot of times sales folks like myself or our technical engineers just have anecdotal knowledge from being in this space for so long, where we can help out more on just kind of a from my experience type of recommendations and
I mean,
advice.
sometimes that's all somebody needs, really, is just kind of guidance and where to start, you know, because it's such a vast area. So.
Yeah, I always just say, just give us a call. That's always a good starting point. Happy to chat with you if I'm not the right person based off your specific needs. We are all very connected here at Avalara, despite being a big company. So I'm happy to pass your information along and facilitate that introduction internally as needed.
And I think guidance helps. Like with EDI, businesses can stay up to date with evolving regulatory requirements through automated alerts, updates, and then TrueCommerce ensures that all trade documents are formatted according to the latest international standards, so reducing the likelihood of non-compliance due to outdated practices. And additionally, EDI or TrueCommerce can be programmed to reflect changes in legislation, allowing businesses to quickly adapt to their processes without significant manual intervention. So, Nuvei, do you have anything to add here?
Yeah, I just add, when it comes to kind of thinking about the compliance bucket and just the changing regulations and trying to keep up with things and how do we make it easier. I could speak to, leveraging the fee recovery, which helps customers and businesses offset those fees. So in our Commerce Suite platform, we partner with a company called Interpayments, which is built to ensure this compliance inside the technology. So it automatically applies fees only where allowed and calculates them within card brand and state specific rules, which are kind of ever changing. And the integration is really cool. It recognizes transaction type, card brand, jurisdiction in real time. So it makes sure everything gets applied correctly. And this is a big help to businesses. It's reducing the risks of manual fee collections. There's non-compliance penalties. And in the meantime, it's really giving a nice, transparent, full disclosure view to your customers.
All right. So what options are out there to help reduce costs? And Kimberly, Nuvei is all about helping to reduce costs. So I'm going to go ahead and let you get started here with Nuvei.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, we do. There's a lot of different ways that we look at businesses and focus on how we can reduce costs for customers, save them, savings in cost and savings in efficiency. And when we're talking about reducing costs, there's a couple of options that I want to highlight. In Commerce Suite, you've heard me mention it a couple of times, the fee recovery functionality. It really helps our merchants recover transaction fees by offsetting these rising costs. And then a second good option to reduce costs is by offering your customers a payment option as ACH, which is going to offer a low-cost alternative to credit cards. This helps margin-stressed businesses save significantly. So those are the two I would highlight. And then let me pass it over, Caroline, if you have something to add from your end.
Thanks, Kimberly. Yeah, I think on our side, we've seen carriers start charging to actually put paper along with the shipment. So supporting electronic trade documents with the carriers is important. And then also just having the ability to have a different carrier mix, maybe offering, a post office option or a UPS or FedEx option out there with the various different times. So there's some rate shopping that can be done from the shipping side, some rules engines that can be leveraged to select best carrier based on charges and costs, and then be able to have the ability to define what actually gets updated in the ERP system as a result. So a couple areas there as it relates to costs. Connor, what would you have is there anything on the Avalara side that could help with on the cost piece of it?
Yeah, I think there's the nice part about compliance is that it prevents the expenses of non-compliance. So some of the things we talked about today of customers rejecting shipments, products being stuck at the border, therefore customers canceling their order or not coming back, so losing revenue in that regard. And then also there's just the personnel time commitment that it takes to research the different compliance regulations in different countries, the time it takes to get processes in place here. For folks that are in these accounting, finance, or sometimes sales roles, there are so many more revenue generating activities that they could be doing outside of dealing with international compliance. So a lot of our options at Avalara are about reducing the costs of manual oversight that prevent companies from scaling on that international landscape.
Yeah, getting to it before it actually hits you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And our last question here, what can help you improve cash flow? So we're gonna, since Nuvei is all about integrated payments and accounts receivable collections, we'll go ahead and let you get started on this slide, Kimberly.
Yeah, thank you. Due to tariff-induced working capital constraints, we're seeing on average for days sales outstanding for B2B companies is increasing 7% year over year. So this is obviously a big burden on companies, and there's two clear ways that Nuvei offers to improve cash flow. So first is a really cool feature that is called invoice financing. We partner with Canmon, which brings invoice financing directly into the ERP. And this is going to make accessing working capital faster, easier. It's fully integrated into your existing workflow. It's going to essentially provide customers with a reliable line of credit. It's based on the value of your outstanding accounts receivable. So you're borrowing against those invoices that you've already issued without waiting those 30, 60, 90 days for the customer payments. It's super simple setup. You do it right in your ERP dashboard. That's about a 48 hours pending approval. Canmon responds to you with lending options that are available. And then from there, customers can actually select specific invoices that they want to finance or receive funds transferred directly into your bank account. Super frictionless, fully embedded lending experience. It's built for speed, simplicity, and accuracy. And then another excellent feature that customers should take advantage of to improve their cash flow is, again, the Commerce Suite. Inside the Commerce Suite, it's streamlining the entire payment process within the ERP. Invoices are generating and sent automatically with built-in payment links so customers can pay immediately. There's automated reminders that reduce late payments. You can accept multiple payment methods, credit cards, ACH, and it makes it easier for customers to pay quickly. And this combination really speeds up collections, reduces that manual follow-up, and it shortens the time between the sale and the funds back to your account. Tiffany, let me pass it back over to you if you have any suggestions on your end.
Actually, TrueCommerce significantly boosts cash flow by streamlining and accelerating, as we've been mentioning, the transaction processes by facilitating faster invoice processing and payment cycles. TrueCommerce enables businesses to reduce the time it takes to receive payments from customers. This efficiency leads to improved liquidity and better cash flow management. So, Dan, as I mentioned, we minimize the manual data entry errors, reducing billing issues and delays. This leads to faster payments, enabling companies to reinvest in operations. So really, TrueCommerce improves supply chain visibility, enhancing financial resource management, and optimizing cash flow. So we can definitely help. Caroline, anything on your end?
I don't think I have anything to comment on the cash flow thing. Usually we're working direct with the carriers on that. So it sounds like between you and Nuvei, I think that's pretty cool with the Nuvei solution there. Being able to do some lending. But yeah, I'll pass it off to Connor. Maybe he has some additional things from Avalara that he can comment on for cash flow.
Yeah, I think the biggest cash flow has been stuff we've talked about. So just won't be too redundant, but essentially making sure that your landed costs are being aligned so you have that more liquid cash flow, making sure that you are not receiving any penalties because of inaccuracies with your international compliance, and then also with cash flow, like I mentioned with the last slide as well, revenue channels, right? Making sure that your products are getting out to their customers so they are fulfilling the financial commitments that they have given to you with placing international orders. So all those systems really help out with making sure you've got your cash flow up to date and moving in a positive manner, which is the end goal.
Well, thank you to all of our presenters. All right, everybody, take care and
Nice talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. All right, bye-bye, you guys.